And we're live, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Do not adjust your televisions. It's the OG hosts today for Show About Show presents the Countdown, episode 11. Where's episode 10? You ask YouTube that. But this is episode 11, and I'm your host, JPO Jordan Pierce Owens, joined by Dutch.
It is me, isn't it scary? I mean, literally, I don't know. You say it's 11. To me, it's like 190. Okay, I just don't know.
Well, we did a bunch of these on the Show About Shows, but yes, we're restarting over now in separate, shorter forms.
Oh,
with at least the countdown portion.
Okay, my attention span is a lot. Thankful for it because I have been watching. By the way, I have been watching very carefully what you've been doing out there, making sure that the brand doesn't suffer. So once in a while, I got to come in and check on the baby to make sure she's fine.
Yes, for anyone thinking that we broke up, no, we're still here. We're still friends. We're like Mark and Tom of Blink. We'll always get back together for a world tour. Have you heard the new single? It's great.
Something about edging. I have not heard it.
Yeah.
Yes, but I know they'll be coming nearby you in, I believe, Phoenix next year. I believe.
Oh yeah, I've been looking at it.
And they're going to be in two spots in Florida somewhere. I think Tampa and Fort Lauderdale.
Which one are you going to go to?
Neither. If NSYNC gets back together, I'll be there though.
What? What a random. What? Well, let's not say goodbye quite yet, because today we have a special top 10 of all the shows that Dutch was willing to return for. Not Nicholson, not greatest movies of all time. No. He wants, this was his request, top 10 Luke Wilson movies. And you know what? I underestimated Luke Wilson because I thought it was gonna maybe struggle to get a top 10. It came across pretty easily, even my top 15. I was like, all right, there's some hidden ones in here, and I try to exclude anything that is just a cameo. I tried going with he's definitely a co-star in several of these. There's several that he's also leading or one of the leads here. So, why Luke Wilson, Dutch?
Oh, because I think you were doing a Will Ferrell thing, and you had a picture of Luke Wilson right behind you, and I was like, well, that just makes no sense because I was excited to hear what your Luke Wilson films were, and it turned out to be a Will Ferrell thing. You see, I don't read subjects; I just look at pictures. So that's how we came up with the Luke Wilson tribute. Unfortunately, B Dizzle is very hard to get a hold of.
Jesus.
He's been doing. You know what though? Here's the cool thing though is that he's been out helping his friends who have been affected by Hurricane Ian. He's been helping clean up and helping rebuild. He's been doing some stuff.
Very nice.
So
I have no doubt in that. I think B Dizzle is a great human being, just not the greatest consistent podcast partner or editor. That's all. That's my only problem.
Well, yeah, I
as a human being, he's a good man.
Oh, absolutely.
Good father.
He's a good kid, all the way, just like you,
good
sir.
Kid. He's older than you.
Oh, that's why we keep
all right. All right, you youngin. We'll go with you. I guess you're technically a guest. You're the guest of honor. I guess in a weird way.
I am a guest. I get to go first. I get to go first.
Tell me if you got some honorables, and then you go into. You know how this fucking show works.
Yes. I finally have figured out how this show works once I'm not a part of it. So here's my top, my honorable mentions, and then I'll give you my 10, number 10 anyway. My honorable mentions are Hoot, My Dog Skip, My Super Ex-Girlfriend, Idiocracy, I think that's Idiocracy, thank you, and Alex and Emma. And then my number 10 is, I believe this is his first run with him, with Wes Anderson, Bottle Rocket. I just found it fascinating. Here, it's like him, Owen Wilson, his brother is actually in this, as well. And they're basically putting together they're just a bunch of criminals. They want attention. They get with James Caan, and all hell breaks loose, basically. And I just find it just a great. Who else is in this movie? I'm looking at it really quick. But anyway, also the screenplay is by Owen Wilson and Wes Anderson. They both wrote this. I just found out right here, which is awesome. So it is a fun, funny romp. Kind of a little dark, but it wasn't, but it is really a good treasure to find if you're looking for something old of Wes Anderson's that you haven't seen. This is one, and this kind of like starts it all for us, in my mind.
Nah, but this has actually been one. I don't. If I saw it, it's been too long to where it's not on the list. I've been meaning to check this out recently too. It was actually brought to my attention in a movie debate over at Movie Battleground that I had. Someone you had this as their favorite or most underrated Wes Anderson movie, and I had to fight against it. And I in the debate, I lied and said I saw it, and I didn't. That's what
you need to see it.
But very good. I got a couple things that I do kind of agree on here. Coming into my honorable mentions, I have Middlemen, I have Vacancy, The Royal Tenenbaums, Brad's Status, and My Super Ex-Girlfriend, which you mentioned as well. And my number 10 is one that you actually had in an honorable as well. I find it to be actually quite underrated, maybe because I was charmed by it. Alex and Emma from 2003 is actually coming in at my number 10 here. I believe this is a Rob Reiner movie.
No,
and yeah, I don't know.
I think it's are you sure it's Rob Reiner? I thought it was the other guy.
It's Rob Reiner.
Okay, I thought it was whatever his name is, the other dude.
Just looked at it, Rob Reiner.
Okay,
and no, like I said, I don't know, man. This is one that I later on found out, like, has pretty middling to even kind of some bad reviews for the most part. But I was charmed by it here. You got some fun little, flashes to alternate, timelines. Because Luke Wilson's a writer, and he's got a deadly deadline because he owes some people that he shouldn't owe money to. And I think Kate Hudson's quite charming in it as well. And like I said, I always thought it was just a little fun. It was something I rented at the library for free on VHS. When I used to do all the time. And yeah, cracks my number 10 here. Alex and Emma, sweet little movie.
Not to be mistaken with Kate and Leopold. Just say.
I prefer Kate and Leopold, but I've heard people say I should rewatch that. I haven't seen that since I was like 11.
But you know what though, I haven't rewatched it either, so I'm gonna let it sit with me as a good film. Okay, I'm not gonna go backwards and trash my memory of it. Okay. My number 9. Martin Lawrence takes him on as a crazy partner over there at Blue Streak. Basically, he's a hapless detective. Basically he's saddled with poor Martin Lawrence, or Martin Lawrence thinks he's saddled with this guy. And it's just, I thought it was a fun comedy. I think it's one of the ones that I think kind of was, I don't know if this was this before or after Bad Boys. I'm not really sure. I think it was after Bad Boys.
Several years after the Bad Boys. And Bad Boys 95, this is 99.
Yeah, so he was trying to recapture some glory with him being a cop, but this
by
time
himself too. It's him alone for the most part.
And but I thought it was pretty fun, a fun little comedic romp. Didn't do great, as far as audience loving, but I enjoyed it. I think Martin Lawrence did a pretty good job. So did Owen Wilson and his I think he always plays those great
Owen.
Oh, I'm sorry, Luke. Luke plays those good characters, like his
even
brother
in his
Owen.
own top 10. You can't give him credit.
But Owen and Luke, they play the same characters, kind of, the old shucks, old dummy, buffoonery kind of players. But I think it's just they're kind of interchangeable. I apologize to the the Wilson family and Owen for giving him credit for this one. So there you go. Blue Streak is my number 9.
Well, no argument here, because check this out. My number 9 is Blue Streak from 1999. I agree. I know I had fun with this. This is another one where it was a quick watch for me as a kid. Something I was excited about. I loved the Martin TV show growing up. That was a big watch for me here, and he's getting to kind of play that here. He plays, when he dressed up as a pizza guy, you know what I mean? So this is perfect for 10-year-old Jo. Quite fun here. You get Dave Chappelle popping up a little bit as well as a former cohort who is very confused as to why he's on the other side of the law, and of course Luke Wilson doing the very cliched classic thing at the end where he lets him go, and I'm like, you just committed a big crime there, Luke Wilson. But but yeah, no, I had fun with this here, man. There was for years talks of a potential sequel, which obviously didn't happen, but no, I had some love for this movie. Blue Streak, I agree, number 9.
I think it'll come back, because they made the Boy Scout 2 or 3 or something, and what was the other one? Bulletproof.
Boy Scout.
Yeah, Bulletproof. I think
there's no Boy Scout, but there is a Bulletproof 2. Yeah, but also hold on. There was, but Bulletproof 2 with was it Phase on Love? Maybe, or I don't know.
They'll
Maybe I'm thinking of
just
something
switch
else.
out
But
all the people. They're not going to bring back the
it
original
won't be
cast.
Martin Lawrence. I'm just saying it will be somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't when I misspoke. I didn't mean I thought Bulletproof, and that's why I corrected it. My number 8. It was on your honorable mentions. Again, I love this man. Wes Anderson to me is just a great filmmaker. I don't know what's wrong with this world, but we need more Wes Anderson films, no matter how many times it comes out. But yeah, Royal Tenenbaums is what I love.
Tintin?
Huh?
You
The
say
Royal
Tintin?
Tenenbaums? Tintin, yeah, I said
Throw
Tenenbaums
a
is
T
what I
in
meant,
there, another
not
T.
Tenenbaums. I
Yeah.
apologize. Jeez, you know what? I've not been on the air for forever. Can a man misspeak on a few occasions? And put the wrong actor in the movie too, because I thought Jackie Gleason was unbelievable in this film. It's Gene Hackman, fantastic. Anyway, yeah, I just found this.
Avery says hi.
Oh, hey, look at that! See, he shows up for me. He knows that I missed him. Hey, but yeah, I enjoyed the Royal Tenenbaums. Tenenbaums. I keep saying the Tenenbaums. Don't ask me why. But yeah, it's just a great little fun film. With brother, sister, crazy interactions within the family.
Fun. It gets very depressing with his character at one point. So
Well, yeah, but the thing is, though, I love it because it just seems it's just crazy. I just love the way the tone is set, and it was just a good film. So other than that, the Royal Tenenbaums, see, I said it right this time, was great. And I always think Gene Hackman as the father is just unbelievable.
I've been thinking about doing a Wes Anderson rewatch because I more in the last few years have become a huge fan. Like I don't love Tenenbaums, that's why it's in my honorables. I didn't love Rushmore, but I've loved Moonrise Kingdom. I've loved, what I mean? I've loved a lot since. So I do wonder, did I just see them too early where the young me was like, what is this? I don't like this.
It's too artsy for me. I'm too young for this.
Coming in at my number 8 here, you could call it a cameo, but I think it's an extended kind of cameo co-star scene that I think he does great in. I went with Zombieland 2 Double Tap when they come across him.
I'm not going to fault you.
And Thomas Middleditch here, and you kind of have a nice little great sequence between them, Woody and Iceberg, and like of course my future wife Rosario Dawson. And I thought this was it's a sequel that obviously didn't strike while the iron was hot, but unlike a Zoolander, did a pretty decent job as far as a follow up here. You know what I mean? Maybe some missed opportunities. I do have my gripes with the film, but I can't deny that like I do have fun every time I watch it. You know what I mean? I've seen it about 3 times already, I think, and it's only a few years old. So and then he's fun in it. So yeah, it's my number 8.
My number 7. I am joining you in the crowds of the Zombieland Double Tap. I love the Elvis area where they're fighting in the Elvis room. Him in that big jacked up truck that he drove around in. It's just, to me, it was just a fun character, and I don't know. It looks like he's having a great time playing this part.
Yeah, it is. My only gripe with him is I wish he was in it more.
Yeah, that's the thing. But when he shows up and he delivers what he needed. And like I say, you're right. It didn't strike while the iron is hot, but it had still kept some of its charm of the original. And that was always a matter. But yeah, I did love that scene. And that's why I really think that's his number 7. It's just for performance alone.
Yeah, no, it's great. No, I'm happy with my because I feel like this is probably the least amount of screen time in my top 10 is that particular one. Number 7, let's get ready to, is it Bend and Snap? Because we're going to Legally Blonde from 2001 here. This is a movie that even again, going back to, 11, 12-year-old J.O., Legally Blonde, am I really gonna like? Yeah, it's a charming, funny movie here. There's a reason we got a sequel. Speaking of sequels that don't strike while the iron's hot, there's supposedly a third coming out with Reese. There is a third, I believe, already in existence, but not with Reese. So we're finally gonna maybe get that one pretty soon here. And yeah, then he's great as just again Luke Wilson, I think, is a very great guy to kind of just instantly like. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't say this character is exactly groundbreaking by any means, but for the screen time given, you can see why Reese likes him. So, Legally Blonde, fun flick, really nice flick. Also just some good dialogue scenes. I love Reese kind of figuring out how to work around Ali Larter's case without giving away a secret that she has, and there's a really interesting kind of concept to that. So, yeah, Legally Blonde, number 7.
You and I are just a little off here, baby. Little off tonight. But you know what, though? Here's what I did. I did the same. Number 6 is Legally Blonde, but I threw Legally Blonde 2 in there as just a shoehorn, so I don't have to bring it back if I didn't want to. I said both.
Yeah, I usually do just one per franchise. You kind of say I did the same to a degree.
Yeah, but the Legally Blonde franchise, Owen has the shit. I did it again. Luke has the charm of Owen Wilson. Anyway, no. But no, I just look at it as you said, just a perfect character for that individual. And
I did that. Sorry.
What happened? I don't. Well, you just wanted.
I was full screen because my cat laid on the keyboard.
You wanted.
I wasn't being egotistical.
It's not changed. This is the reason why we broke up before. Is the reason why the show doesn't work? A lot of screen time for you. That's all you wanted. You don't fucking care about the guest. It's all screen time.
You know what else I can do? I can also mute him. So his number 6 was. Hold on, I think you have to. Now you have to. Oh wait, did I unmute you?
And now all I can say is that I forgive you.
Thank you.
Number 6, Legally Blonde franchise. That's all I'm going to go with.
I just hope he's in the 3rd. I would be very bummed if they did that cliched, like, well, we broke up at some point. Like, don't do that. I hate when movies do that.
No, they'll just kill him off. That'll be a lot easier.
Oh, they're going to totally kill him off so she can have a new beau. You called it, my friend. You called it. I totally agree that they're going to be like, well, a few years ago, a tragic car accident. You know what I mean? And
he was down
a whole new love interest.
He was down in Alabama making glass. Oh shit, that's the wrong movie.
All right, coming in at my number 6 here. Peculiar little story behind this film because it's a sequel, or no, it's a remake of a movie that only came out like a year before. Death at a Funeral, though. Gotta give it up for me at number 6. I enjoy both of these films here. There's a British version here directed by Frank Oz with Alan Tudyk amongst others, and now you have this version with Chris Rock, Martin Lawrence again popping up. Hey, I didn't even think about that. Luke Wilson, James Marsden playing the Alan Tudyk character, and yeah, it still works. Peter Dinklage playing the same character. I love the fact that they were like, we gotta just do Peter Dinklage again. It was almost like James Earl Jones in Lion King. It was like there's no one else. It's perfect the first time. Do it again. And Luke Wilson definitely again a co-star in this here. He doesn't have the flashiest parts, but plays his part well. And it's just a fun movie here, man. Like I do recommend both. It's a weird concept that happened, but both work to a degree. So that's the funeral.
I'll probably talk about that a little later, but the movie I'm going to talk about now, I think it was in your honorable mentions. It was The Vacancy with Kate Beckinsale, along with, of course, our guest of honor, Luke. And I got to tell you, this is the reason why I don't stay at no-tell motels, little low-rent hotels anymore. I used to find them charming until I saw this type of film. And, I'm not one for it. Of course, then they made Vacancy 2, which was way off the mark from this one. I mean, this one is, kind of stalkerish and crazy. The other one's just bloody and crazy. So
wait a minute. You saw Vacancy 2?
Yes, I hate that. Yes, I did. I thought it was going to keep the same charm as the original. Why do I not care? But anyway, I found it a very good suspenseful film and like I said, it does make me not like to stay in like roadside hotel inns, because I always loved the niche of them. But yeah, not anymore. But yeah, it's just a great thriller about a guy just basically it's not really I don't really want to call it a slasher film. Would you call this a slasher film? This is not really a slasher film. It's more of a stalking
horror. I might not go for slasher. It's definitely horror.
Suspense horror, that type of thing. It gets a little violent, but at the same time, it's not as bad. So yeah, I really watched it for Kate Beckinsale, but Luke just happened to be a part of the film. So yeah, I did love it. Vacancy is my number 5.
Coming in at my number 5 here, we're going to the year 2015 for the Will Smith led Concussion. And if you don't like that, he'll slap you. So you better. Yeah, no, this is really, again, very much a co-starring part for Luke Wilson. I think he's one of the NFL guys in that movie. But a great tale of, finding out more and more about these, the concussions these athletes go through. David Morris has a really sad, tragic part here. And yeah, it's a really well-made film, well worth checking out. Alec Baldwin, Alec Brooks. And it's something that has kind of stuck with me over time as far as just being a really good, well-worthy tale that's worth being told and looked into, and still something that's being discussed still to this day of what should be and needs to be done without killing the sport. And interesting topic.
Yeah, I did not put that on my list because I never saw it. I just thought, well, I don't want to watch something that's going to depress me. But
it's much more than that.
Speaking of a depressing film, see, I'm segueing to my own. My number 4 is Henry Poole is Here. He plays a very depressed. He's thinking his days are numbered. His last days are here. And they find a stain of Jesus on the floor of his patio, I believe, and they basically turns his world a little upside down because he thought he was just going to go die in peace. It's a very good film. It's not. I don't think it's going to be like a blockbuster film for anybody, but I thought it was for a comedy / drama, it fit the piece, and there's a lot of decent acting for a chick. I like to see his acting. I would like to see him more. Not like what is it right now, Stargirl. He doesn't do great in that one, but I'd like to see more chops of see how deep he can really go in his cuts. But I think Luke Wilson could go a little deeper, but he just doesn't for some reason. Let's just get him in there and do it. So Henry Poole is my number 4.
Interesting pick here, man. Yeah, that's one I did see, and it was a bit of a mixture. I thought some of the messages was good, and then it kind of went a little off the rails for me. But Interesting pick. I'm happy to be here talked about. Another movie that I'm actually happy to endorse because I think I've talked about it before here on the show, and I bet you haven't seen it because no one's seen it. Although I did find one person that agreed with me. All the Bright Places from 2020, one of my favorite movies of the year. 2020 here. 2 teens facing personal struggles. They form a bond here, and there's just some great dialogue between them. It's Justice Smith, who from the Detective Pikachu movies, and Elle Fanning, of course, the young sister of Dakota Fanning. What a freaking talented family that is. And it's heart-wrenching. It goes there. It has some really gut-wrenching turns in it that you almost hate, but also appreciate. And I just really good film here, man. That really just really spoke to me, and I think it's well worth checking out. I believe it is a Netflix film, so it's very easily accessible here, and it's a really fine piece of work that I enjoyed a lot.
I bet you if I really claw through my my queue, it's probably stuck in there somewhere. Because you kind of
get to it, man. Get to it.
You say, "I'll get to it later." That's how it works in your queue. I never get anywhere. I never get anywhere in my queue because I'm always adding new shit to it. I wish they'd just tell me, no, you can't add any more until you start watching.
There was a time, and I feel like I'm one of the only people that knows this because it shows you how much I love a lot of things. There's a time your queue did have a limitation.
I do remember that.
Yes.
Yeah. But now it's like bottomless, and I think people need to be told what to see anymore because there's too much shit out there, man. I'm dying right now trying to figure out what I'm watching next. Even though I'm watching whatever I'm watching. Anyway, enough. We're going to number 3. Number 3. This is a comedy, a romantic comedy. It's called The Family Stone. Yes, he plays little brother, to Dermot Mulroney. Diane Keaton is the mom. Sarah Jessica Parker.
Dylan McDermott.
Yeah. Who did I say? No, I said no. It's Dermot Mulroney.
I know, I did that on purpose.
Yeah, okay. I was like, well, no, I know what I said. I thought I did anyway. But then you had Diane Keaton, and you have Sarah Jessica Parker as the love interest to Dermot's character. It's a dysfunctional family. It's based around the holiday season. It's what, Christmas, I believe. But yeah, I have this movie. I own this movie. I rewatched it just recently, and I enjoyed it a lot. I thought, well, you know what? This movie actually holds up. You can probably find it out there on Hulu or whatever, but it's a 50-50 shot to most people. I'm just pulling up some of the ratings here on it, but I enjoyed it. I'm not going to ruin any twists because there are a few things that happen in this film. I don't know if you've seen this yet. Have you seen it?
No, this is one I've never seen before. Never got to it.
So I'm not going to ruin it. So watch it. You'll enjoy it. I think
they're all ghosts in the end. I know.
No, they're not. They're not ghosts. I can't take you seriously.
It's the last episode we're ever doing.
Yeah.
Until 2020.
Yeah, but the Family Stone rocks it in on my number 4.
Coming in, you mean your number 3?
No, we're on number 4.
No, number 4 was Henry Poole.
Number 3. I apologize.
Okay.
Number 3.
I also thought I could have been wrong. That's why I was like,
my friend, this is why you're the host still. Okay. I've left the damn village. I'm just an idiot. Just sits out here.
I made mistakes. So I'm just making sure.
Okay.
Coming in at my number 3 here, it's the thing that started this entire episode. It's old school. It's the photo before that made you go, well, what about Will Ferrell? Let's talk Luke Wilson. So coming in at my number 3 here, Luke Wilson, old school. Poor guy with the setup of him walking in on his wife who's blindfolded, ready to bang a stranger, and then just chaos and fun ensues with Will Ferrell and Vince Vaughn having a lot of fun too when he pops in, and Snoop Dogg is playing in a concert. You got all the My Boy Blue. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You know, it's definitely a product of its time to a degree, but I think still holds up for the most part. Watching it back here, and you know, he's the perfect kind of straight man for the other two that are having more of the fun here. And so old school coming in at my number 3.
Well, we might be talking about that very shortly, but we're going to talk about a movie you talked about earlier, which I enjoyed the remake as much as I did the original, Death at a Funeral. You're right, Chris Rock put this one together, and it just worked. When you said Alan Tudyk, the only thing I could remember of Alan Tudyk is sitting outside the window crying, you know, because he's so freaking high, and he's like like that, you know, naked, I believe, sitting outside. It's just great. But that was the original. The second one was even better, I thought, because it was just a great perspective on a different type of family that we never usually see in films, and how they go about the idea. And I love Peter Dinklage reprising the character of the gay lover of the dead deceased, now deceased father. I just thought it was just great how they had to handle this whole thing. It's just, like I said, it's a funny film. If you have not seen these films, either one, you're missing out. It's just a great film on both sides of the pond. You have the American version, you have the English version. Go watch both. Just go watch both. Maybe at the same time. I don't care. Just put them both side by side and see what's different. I don't know. But just go and have fun with it. Enjoy it. That's my number 2, Death at a Funeral.
My only disagreement, as I had it on my list earlier, is I would give it a little bit of separation. I wouldn't watch them right back to back, because although maybe as an experiment, you know what, screw it, yeah, do it back to back, because it might be an interesting experiment. Coming in at my number 2 is a movie that I really, really liked. I'd say he's easily the third billing here, though, because it's more Kristen Wiig and Bill Hader in The Skeleton Twins from 2014. Just, you know, again, you kind of hear the cast I just gave you. You think it's going to be outrageously just funny, and there are some really funny moments in here as well as great singing and dancing moment between the two, their brother and sister, Wiig and Hader. But you know, unfortunately, Hader's going through a hard time right now, a little suicidal, if you will, and it's about that relationship here, and kind of mending the fences between the brother and sister and figuring out the future. You know, stuff between her and Luke Wilson is quite interesting as well here. I actually really like Luke Wilson in this movie as well here. I think he's great when he pops in, and kind of the dynamic he has with Wiig and the family as well. So Skeleton Twins, really great movie. My number 2.
That is a great movie, but I'm still going to put my number 1. What was your number 3? I believe Old School. Yes, Old School. I just love it. He plays to me, Luke in this film plays like what Jason Bateman would have played if they decided to put Jason Bateman instead. You know what I'm saying? They both play a great straight guy to everyone's crazy. And he comes off as a very lovable individual in this film. Not sure what Juliette Lewis was, doing, in that great orgy scene in the beginning. That was just crazy. It was shocking when I was in the theater watching. I was like, what? It's like all these guys coming out of nowhere, on him, and just, you felt real bad for him. He then decides, his buddies just rally around him just to try to make his life better. And it just, and wackiness ensues. So that's how I look at it. It was just a great buddy film in which people, it kind of made him loosen up more at his end of the day. So there you go. That was my number one. Old School.
Well, I too am going to talk about a movie that you mentioned earlier, but I'm going way back, Dutch. I'm going to an honorable mention of yours is my number one. I'm going to what do you call it? Idiosyncratic? I don't know. It's Idiocracy from 2006. Yeah. From Mike Judge, who also gave us, of course, Beavis and Butthead. Which, by the way, that TV, I didn't like the movie as much. The new TV show on Paramount, quite worth it. Anywho,
yeah, I've seen it.
The fire episode, I don't know. It just really got me. And them on the board chasing the women. I don't know. Anywho, yeah. So great premise here. Luke Wilson is the ultimate slacker who's just looking for a simple job to get by, and he's not very smart, but he somehow time travels to the future. He gets like kind of frozen, and he wakes up, and the world is so dumb that now this man who was once considered dumb is the smartest man alive, and he breaks out of prison very easily. There's some great moments in that. He meets Terry Crews, who has this crazy long name, and they're all just drinking Gatorade, and Crews is the president, and a great relationship with Maya Rudolph, who's a hooker, and Dax Shepard is an idiot as well. And I thought this movie was great, man. It's something that I've come to like even more every time I see it here. I see more and more of the world that they're building here and the things that they're kind of getting at here. Great opening sequence too, of kind of breaking down of like the one smart couple who's like, we're gonna wait, and then the dumb couple who's like, we're on our third, and just like how it's succumbed to where we are. And yeah, I thought this movie was really funny and worked. So it's my number one, actually. Idiocracy.
Yeah, I can't fault you. Like I said, I did like it. I just haven't seen it in a long time, so I couldn't really remember some of it. So this one really did well for you. So no, I don't blame you at all. So I guess what do we do now? What do we do?
Let's hear it again, Dutch. Give me that silky smooth top 10 of Luke Wilson.
A silky smooth top 10 is number 10 is Bottle Rocket. Coming in at number 9 is Blue Streak. Number 9, the Royal Tenenbaums. Number 7, Zombieland Double Tap. Number 6, the Legally Blonde series. Number 5, Vacancy. 4, Henry Poole is here. The Family Stone comes in at number 3. Number 2, Death at a Funeral. And number 1, Old School.
Very nice here. I'll go over my top 10 real quick here, and you'll see it in picture form, and you can get a spoiler as to what I think the rest of Luke Wilson's films are like, too, if you take a look. Number 10, we got Alex and Emma. Number 9, Blue Streak. Number 8 is Zombieland 2, Double Tap. Number 7, Legally Blonde. Number 6, Death at a Funeral. Number 5, Concussion. Number 4, All the Bright Places. Number 3, Old School. Number 2, The Skeleton Twins. And number 1, Idiocracy for my top 10 Luke Wilson. Follow me on Letterboxd.
Okay, I'll think about it.
You should create a Letterboxd, though, for real.
Where's this Letterboxd?
It's Letterboxd. I'll send you the link. Letterboxd. It's BOXD, no E. And you rank films. You can make lists. You can do reviews. You can kind of do like a diary of your films. Yeah, I would love to follow you and see what you're watching and what you're thinking.
We'll see. Me, I don't like this.
One of us.
I call it. That's just baloney. Anyway, that's my pillow.
I hate baloney with those green things in there.
That's that's my olive loaf pillow. My olive loaf pillow, kids. There we go. It makes an appearance.
Did you know black olives are generally hated?
I enjoy them on a pizza. Why?
Oh, God damn it! This is why the show's over. You know what, folks? Now that he said, no, I saw Renan Link, who good host of Good Mythical Morning, had they were breaking down foods that people generally don't like, and black olives was on there, and I was surprised. I love black olives.
I like black olives on a pizza. I like green olives just to eat out of the jar.
All right, let's wrap this up. Dutch, any plugs or parting words?
I don't have any plugs. I have no parting words other than maybe I would like to do a review with you soon.
Absolutely. Anytime, we'd love to have you on.
How about after we finish this show?
That sounds like a plan, even sooner.
I'll be right back after these few messages from our few burn sponsors.
Ovaltine. Do you? Oh no, McDonald's. No, Whack Arnold's. No. But yes, this was the Countdown Show top 10. Hopefully you liked it. What are your top 10 Luke Wilson movies? Or your number one? Whatever you want to do. If you don't have time for 10, let us know in the comments what you like Luke Wilson wise. What other top 10s you'd like to see me do? Maybe Dutch can join in on them. I don't know. So like, subscribe. You know what to do. We love you more than you'll ever know.
I still don't love him.